Hello everyone, I'm back with another video. I woke up way too early this morning, which gave me an opportunity to read the new One Piece chapter 1016. It was great and funny, and I was delighted to see that the Perospero fight hasn't happened yet, because while I would like to record the chapter review and get it out right now, my co-host has the worst sleep schedule in the world and has sleeping patterns similar to that of a house cat. So while I'm up way too early and alone, I need a video to get out today, and it seems like as good a time as any to tell you guys why I think Perospero as a character and a pirate is a little bit overshadowed, underappreciated, and underrated. Charlotte Perospero is the eldest child and first son of the great pirate emperor Charlotte Linlin, and similar to the other children of Linlin that have gained adulthood and a noticeable power level, he's serving as minister to one of Tatoland's many food-themed islands, and since Perospero is in all ways a Candyman to the core, he's Totland's minister of candy, governing over all of Candy Island, which in the context of Totland, I imagine has got to be a pretty big deal, as candy is an integral part of Big Mom's identity and a huge theme to her territory. Perospero is quite tall, being just an inch short of a whopping 11 feet or 333 centimeters. Being the oldest son, Charlotte Perospero is 50 years old, making him very similar in age to Big Mom's other eldest children, Charlotte Kompot, and the strong trio of triplets that make up Daifuku, Oven, and Katakuri. This also means that Big Mom had Perospero when she was 18, as she's currently 68 in the story. Perospero, even more so than most of Big Mom's children, is very faithful to the theme of Totland, as he dresses like a washed-up street clown from the 90s, wearing a large flashy yellow trench coat with a turtleneck upper and appropriately placed wrapped candy buttons going down the middle. It's also interesting to note that Perospero's color schemes differ greatly between his reveal in the anime and his reveal in the manga. His official color scheme has been changed since then, now making it only slightly different. When I get to the part about Perospero being an underrated character, I think the community knows that this guy is far from weak sauce, and even can see that he has some impressive accolades even for a pirate in the New World. But whenever I hold out my ear and listen into the One Piece ether, I find myself hearing a disturbing lack of Perospero chatter, especially with how this dude is kind of a major minor antagonist in both the Whole Cake and Wano arcs. And yes, I know how silly major minor antagonist sounds. I just couldn't be bothered to come up with something better. People really should be talking a little bit more about Perospero, because his feats and implied context surrounding his character really interests me as a reader. And with a fight between him and Neko Mamushi basically confirmed to be coming at this point, I find it probably one of the most anticipated fights of the Wano arc for me, as I'd just really love to see what Perospero is capable of going against Neko, especially since this dude has had quite the wild week with losing an entire Liminal. But enough about that. Nobody gives a flying shit about any of that. You guys just want me to power scale like the dirty dog that I am, so here we go. In simple terms, Peros has got Feats. This dude's fruit ability is so strong, versatile, and has a bunch of developmental potential. But not only that, Peros is like the most perfect person in the entire world to use this fruit. Perospero is the user of the Peroperonomy, or the Lick fruit. This fruit allows Perospero to create, control, and manipulate candy at will. Being able to use it in a hardened or a sticky and viscous form, Perospero is able to do so many awesome, crazy things with this fruit. He can create prosthetic limbs for himself in the event that he loses them, which, newsflash, he totally does. He can even create non-dissolvable candy that he used to create a large candy sea slug that was easily able to carry Big Mom safely across the ocean, which in terms of devil fruit abilities, this is already pretty strong. A substance or ability that can still function in water in the world of One Piece is a huge fat dub. Perospero can create large barriers and even has a special attack / defense known as the Iron Maiden. This is where he creates a large, hard, and solid Iron Maiden out of candy that's extremely durable. It should be stated, however, that while Luffy had trouble earlier in the Whole Cake Island arc with destroying Peros's candy barriers with a hockey-clad Gear 3rd attack, he was still able to break through the candy defenses of the Iron Maiden through use of a Red Hawk, and this is no diss to Perospero whatsoever, as the Red Hawk is an extremely powerful attack that's literally fueled by Luffy's passion to protect his friends, as well as Ace's flame. So what can you really say? Peros has also been seen in some of the latest chapters being able to spam large volleys of candy arrows with a candy bow, meaning that archery is also a skill that Peros has under his belt. But Peros isn't just the candy fruit user, guys. He's the candy fruit user. This guy's whole identity is based around candy, so naturally he's very good at utilizing it and sculpting it, making him a candy expert sculptor. Peros is able to sculpt anything he wants out of candy given enough time, as shown when he was able to make a fucking exact functional replica of Caesar Punk's laboratory on Punk Hazard, and was even able to make a candy escalator that functioned. So it doesn't matter if it's something intricate or even technological to Perospero. Man is a damn candy engineer at this point, and can somehow make technology and electrical currents function using only candy, making Perospero nothing short of a technological and architectural god. Perospero has got some awesome combat feats too. One of my favorite things about Perospero is that they gave him an awesome and intimidating bounty of 700 million berries, which is just a cool high number that I'd expect to come from a mid to high tier veteran pirate like Perospero. I think it's also really appropriate, and so does Perospero himself. He boasts about his bounty and his personal strength on the regular, making him quite the confident and arrogant character. Perospero is really sadistic too, especially towards his enemies, but shares the common Big Mom crew traits where it's implied that he cares deeply about the well-being of Totland, its citizens, and especially his fellow brothers and sisters. But back to battle feats, Perospero has done a bunch of cool and funny battle feats that just make me like his character even more. This dude folded Pedro like an omelet effortlessly, and then boasted to Pedro saying, "Do you even know what a 700 million berry bounty means? Like, for real?" And even after that, taking a lethal point-blank suicide blast from Pedro, Pero simply grew a new candy arm back and kept on trucking. Like, this guy, for having such a skinny, lanky frame, is surprisingly a very tanky character, which I love. You gotta consider that Pedro was able to beat Baron Tamago in a mid-diff, so Peros defeating him so easily is actually quite cool to me. Also, technically, Peros has a fat on-screen W against Chowper and Brook, two very skilled and strong fighters from the Straw Hat Pirates. So, like, dummy awesome feat. So far, Peros has taken multiple strong attacks and has just shrugged them off with such tenacity, taking a serious punch from Ichiji and then acting like it wasn't really that much, with only a bruise left over. He's also been blown up, and he's gotten his eyes almost gouged out of his sockets by a couple of juiced up minks. And he was also blown away by Queen's body in the second to last chapter, and I just don't even think Perospero at this rate is going to be fazed by that. This dude is an extremely tanky and resilient character. It doesn't really matter to Perospero, like, Bloke will just keep on getting back up, spouting some sadistic and arrogant nonsense too, while talking about how he's going to enjoy giving you that sweet lick. Which leads me to the final thing I want to say about Peros. This guy's candy also has a lethal kill aspect to it, which in Totland terms is just icing on the cake, but undunce. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But anyways, Perospero can lick into his constrained opponents and have candy seep into their insides pretty quickly, killing them. The idea of dying by this terrifies the 300 million berry bounty Caesar clown to his core, and this guy steals children and turns them into freakish lab experiments, so I imagine that this has got to be a pretty terrible way of dying. But with all that said, everyone, I think Perospero is an awesome supporting antagonist and a great character, and is kind of slept on. He's really strong, resilient, personable, and has a cool fruit which has gotten a lot of screen time, meaning that at this point, Perospero is just everything that Smoothie isn't, which is just, you know, a little bit funny to think about. If there's any Smoothie fans out there, I'm sorry, I really do feel bad for you. Hopefully Smoothie will be able to do something during the Wano arc, but at this point, like, I could really care less. How do you guys feel about Perospero? If there's anything you want to share, or if I didn't mention something important, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. I will be sure to get back to you. If you're enjoying the content, I'd be really flattered if you were to subscribe, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit that bell icon and smash that motherfucking like button. Anyways, y'all, have a great rest of your day, and I'm gonna have to see you in the next one.